West Ham was an incredible stadium. I mean, you've got to remember that the first test match that was held at West Ham, there were 85,000 people there. It was a super stadium, a great big double-decker stand, wonderful track, and it's smack in the middle of a huge population, wasn't it, in East London, and it was absolutely magnificent.
West Ham was the only track that ever had silver sand, which came from St Austell in Cornwall.
It was just magic, you know, to see the colour and the riders and that. There was Eric Chitty there, Malcolm Craven, Benny King, Tommy Crooms, Cliff Watson.
Well, there can only be one favourite rider for as far as I'm concerned, because I rode with him as team partner at West Ham for 2 years, and he was without doubt a gentleman, a fabulous rider, and on top of that a good sportsman, and that was Jack Young.
But you go to Speedway for a couple of hours every Tuesday night. You were transferred into like this magical world of colour, of sound. And when those lights went down, those bites shot off on that tapes, you know, and the crowds all shouting and cheering on the riders, whether it was your own riders or the opposition fans cheering on the riders. It was a magical world for a kid.
Massive track. I found out, brilliant, absolutely fell in love with the place.
There was always a chance something was going to happen. If there was a fence, he'd be on it. That's how he rode.
And of course I went out the side of the van, and I think they said they found me a few hundred yards down the road, like when it split open and that, I mean. He told me about the injuries, etc. and that, and how they fought for different one's lives for many hours on an operating table, but and I've rode him, there's always someone worse off than you. So at least when I got up out of the hospital bed, I did lucky enough to walk about and lead a normal life.
I was waiting at the station for my mother to arrive on the train when I heard it given out over the radio that he was in fact one of those that had died, and that was the first I heard that he was dead.
Tuesday morning, I'm walking down Whitechapel High Street past the famous London Hospital. In them days, the news vendors would bark out the news. He shouted out, "Local speed ace is killed," and waved a newspaper at me. There's a West Ham rider on the front. Just shiver, you know, what do you do?
I was surprised to find he'd been taken off to hospital and became... that was really, really sad because he spent a lot of time in hospital. And when he went to hospital, he was left unattended for quite a long period of time. And he wasn't seen to by a doctor or any senior nursing staff or anything like that. And I don't know how long he was unattended, but he was told to get up, get out of his leathers. Well, having done so, he collapsed. Nobody realised, but he had got a serious concussion, and he went into a coma, which he never came out of.
Johnny Hoskins is named after Hoskins Close, and there's Lawson, Atkinson, Wilkinson. None of the 65 team are mentioned in the road turnings, and unless you knew the history, you wouldn't know. There isn't a trace, there's not even a sign up saying that it was the site of West Ham Stadium. There's nothing. And I would imagine if you spoke to 99 out of 100 people who now live down there now and said to them, whereabouts the stadium, they would have no idea, because it is now, literally this year will be 40 years. It finally finished it in May 1972 with Rockford Bombers. It's 40 years since there have been any speedway there.